Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Wednesday the 11th of February.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
This new method to settling your water bills will wash away your worries.
From Rwanda to Rio, is the national taekwondo troupe ready for the 2016 games?
And we take a look at a travel experience that has become the pearl in the heart of Africa. Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahadio. And over the next hour, we'll be bringing you all the latest news, sports, and lifestyle headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here with us in studio as always. Guys, it's the middle of the week, the time when we can, kind of start to loosen up a bit. Tell us what's going on in the world of business.
Well, I have very interesting news for you in the world of business, like Regis likes to say, in the money.
In the money.
So I'll let you know what's happening.
Okay, looking forward to it. Arnold, in the world of sports?
The taekwondo sport that has been in the country for a very short time is going places. We have the latest from the Taekwondo Federation and the national coach in the house.
I hope to see you doing some martial arts in there.
Nah.
No? Okay, and Alan in lifestyle?
Well, I visit a place where you can go and hang out when you're at the airport waiting for your flight.
Okay, looking forward to it all.
All right, all that and more still to come, but first, Rise and Shine story of the day.
In a bid to promote good service delivery and revenue collection, the management of the Water and Sanitation Corporation, an entity of the recently split National Utility WASA, recently introduced water prepayment services to its customers to facilitate and ensure proper billing of water. How will this service help, and what do customers think of it? We went to find out.
No more queuing and no more worrying about delivering their payment slips to WASAC. This is the new era that the customers of WASAC are enjoying following the company's decision to offer water prepayment services. And Odette, a customer of this company, says paying her bills has never been easier.
Jewe nk'umukiriya wa WASAC kuva bayitangiza yaranshimishije cyane kuko iramfasha mu kwishyura mu kureba umwenda wanjye biranyorohera bigatuma nkomeza imirimo yanjye yindi isanzwe ya buri munsi. Buri muturage wese umukiriya wa WASAC abenshi dufite amatelefone dukoresheje telefone yacu rero tubasha kubona umwenda urimo WASAC tukabasha no kwishyura ku buryo rero twumva ari iterambere ari ikintu cyadushimishije cyane.
The company, which has officially taken over the water and sanitation services, has plans to undertake a $7 million water project to stop water rationing in the country. But why was it important for them to start this prepayment system?
byari mu rwego rwo kunoza serivisi duhereza abaturage kuko mbere na mbere tugabanya igihe umuturage yakoreshaga aza kwishyura facture. Ikindi kandi ntuza no kureducinga ntuza amafaranga yakoreshaga atega mu modoka ajya kwishyura amafacture haba ku mabanki n'ahandi hose. Umukiriya wacu ashobora kujya kwishyura ku mabanki yaba kuri BK yaba kuri GT Bank hirwa zana bordero, ushobora kwishyura kuri mobile banking, ushobora kwishyura no kuri MTN mobile money.
Despite this new service, there are still fears from the customers that the system may at times be down, hindering the efficiency of this service.
Ndahamya ko ibyo bitazabaho cyane tujyanye nk'ibya mobile banking cyangwa mobile money ntabwo ari to depending kuri internet ni USSD based. Cyambere nababwira nuko ubu turi kuvugana n'izindi service providers vuba ngaba turatangira gukorana na Airtel ku buryo n'abakiriya ba Airtel bashobora kwishyura. Ikindi nuko tugiye gutangira kuza tubohereza facture zabo kuri za telefone umukiriya tukamubiringa twamara kumubiringa akahita abona invoice yo kuri telefone.
With this new service in place, it seems more likely that the targets of the EDPRS2 to avail water and sanitation services to all Rwandans are indeed achievable. Karangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
And joining us in studio is Lucien Ruterana, the commercial director of WASAC. Good morning, Lucien.
Good morning.
All right, so the first thing I want to know, from what we heard in the report, you guys are going to be using the USST system instead of the mobile system. How does it work exactly?
Instead of the internet.
Instead of the internet, sorry about that, yes.
We are working with MTN, and if the client have already mobile money, you can send money to, as your clients send money to their friends or their children when they are in school. It is the same, it works the same way. If you want to pay via mobile money, you can directly transfer money, the money that you have in your phone, to WhatsApp account, and there is no request. This don't need to have internet. But with banking, mobile banking, it's the same thing. You access your account in the bank, and you transfer money. You are able to transfer money from your account in the bank and transfer to WhatsApp account, and immediately your money is transferred to your water account directly. But we using internet banking, in that case you need access to internet. By those clients who have access to internet, they go through WhatsApp website, they access their bank, and they can follow the instructions and transfer money to the account in the bank to WhatsApp account.
Now, I know that it's a very familiar way of paying things, using mobile money and bank transfers and things like this. But because this WASAC e-billing system is new, should we be prepared for maybe some bugs or some maybe glitches in the system?
The system was built to facilitate clients in payment and to facilitate WASAC in billing. It means all those has been prepared, and the client will be facilitated in all kind of way, because even on our side, we'll be able to bill the client on the field, and the invoice will be directly sent to client's mobile phones or in internet, and the client will be able to view their account, their water invoices, and be able to pay with all those facilities we are providing to them.
So the system is already tested, no mistakes, no...
Yes, for e-payment is okay, because we have launched it on the 2nd of February.
Right.
E-billing is ongoing. We are expecting to finalize this by April.
All right, now what drove to this? What drove to the change? Is it just technology, embracing new technologies, or it was just, meant to happen, I guess?
Yeah, this e-billing and e-payment technology exists technology, but we need to, what we did is to work on those technologies, to see how we can interface with the banks and the telecommunication companies. But this technology exists, but what we need is to build, first of all, that technology, to make technology implemented in WASAC.
What's your projection for the amount of people that will be using this? Do you think that it's going to be extremely widespread all over Rwanda, or do you think it's going to be mostly Kigali?
Already done. All our customers displayed all over the country, they are paying via bank bank counter in BK or GT Bank. And if you're using the mobile money on internet, on MTN network, right, wherever you are, you will be able to transfer money to our WASAC account. So it means all over Rwanda, they can pay water bills by using mobile money or using BK and GT Bank facilities.
Go ahead.
Do you think that it's going to affect people paying their bills? Maybe some people who used to be a bit late with paying their bills, or?
Okay, with this facility, we introduced, first of all, this facility, as the Director of IT said, to facilitate clients to pay their water invoices in real time. In the previous systems, we used to distribute the invoice, and the client have to go to the bank or to WhatsApp counter to pay.
And it takes a long time.
Yes, it takes a long time. Right. And even some clients, they have other things to do.
And they get discouraged when there's a lot of
yes,
long queue and all that.
Yes. Yeah. So now you can pay wherever you want.
Right.
You can pay when you're at home, as you are buying electricity. You can pay water. You can buy airtime. Now you can pay water. But if you go to the bank for other things, you can even get your opportunity to pay water bill, and you don't need to come back to WASAC for records. Immediately when you pay,
You'll get a message.
yeah, you get a message, and your payment is reflected in WASAC. Our staff can check your payment without,
Nice.
and they don't need to post your payment because it is immediately done in the bank.
Right.
Right.
Pretty good.
Do you
Impressive.
don't have another question?
I don't have another question. I
Okay.
just wanted to say one thing that actually amazes me is the amount of Rwandans, especially those ones you wouldn't think, in rural Rwanda. They use mobile money a lot, the MTN service. So to them, I guess it's easier having to leave wherever they are to go and pay. I guess it's easier for them. I don't know if you've talked to them.
It is very easy for them, and we encourage them to use this mobile money payments system, because we know MTN has over 3 million subscribers, and you have only around 156,000 households connected to water network. We expect they have mobile phones, and they are familiar of using with this mobile money, so they can have this facility to pay their water consumption.
So,
And we do not provide only that payment option. We have also other service, which is very secure, give your comfort to our clients.
Right.
This is what we call prepayment contract service. If the client wants, we calculate the average consumption of the previous month, and we calculate the average monthly consumption, and the client may choose to pay this average in 6 months or
right.
1 year.
Right.
Then you pay once, and after 6 months or 1 year, based on the contract that you send with WASAC, we can come to your home for reconciliation.
Okay. Well,
And after that, we see if we have to refund you if you have consumed less, or if you have to add additional money if you have consumed more.
Right.
Then you sign another contract.
This is going to make a lot of people happy. A lot of people don't like standing in queues and stuff.
especially with water rationing.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully on the out.
WASAC embracing technology.
Thank you so much for
You're
joining us
you're
today.
welcome.
You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's get to today's money business news. Fidel Karangwa has the details.
Business stories making headlines today. The government and the Federal Republic of Germany have signed a 5.5 billion francs agreement to support decentralization programs and good governance in the country. The funds are expected to be used to finance income-generating projects and economic infrastructure such as schools, roads, and markets. Officials say the grant will support rural development, create employment opportunities, and help tackle effects of climate change. The German ambassador to Rwanda said the agreement underlined the long-standing cooperation between the two countries based on friendship and mutual trust. The Minister of Agriculture, Gerardine Mukeshimana, has said the new coffee policy aimed at increasing coffee production is ready to be implemented. Speaking at the Rwanda Coffee Conference, Honorable Mukeshimana said the policy, which would replace the coffee policy of 1998, will pave way for new strategies aimed at enhancing Rwanda's coffee industry. The new scheme is expected to provide a framework on how to improve and respond to demand for coffee in the international market using enhanced processing and marketing strategies by the private sector. And a new farmer-to-farmer extension model is expected to improve Rwanda's agricultural output as well as encourage farmers to look at agriculture as a business. The Twigire Muhinzi initiative, launched last year by the Ministry of Agriculture, is said to be an answer to numerous farmers' complaints over lack of experts and demonstration plots, which was hurting the sector's productivity. A recent study showed that almost 20% of farmers are in need of extension programs but do not get them. This new approach will increase fertilizer use and improve agronomic practices as well as enable farmers to access better markets for their products in the long run. You're up to date today's business headlines. Sports news coming up next in just a minute with Arno Quizera.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news with me, Arnold Quizera. Starting with cricket, the newly re-elected Rwanda Cricket Association President Charles Harbour has pledged to put more effort in developing the sport across the country. The 38-year-old former Right Guards Cricket Club player was returned unopposed as head of the Rwanda Cricket Association, a position he has held since 2000. According to the RCA constitution, the term of office is 2 years. In addition to Harbour, all other executive committee members, including Vice President Srinath Vandineni, Secretary General Emmanuel Biringiro, and Treasurer Stephen Musale, retained their posts. Meanwhile, a new position of Head of Women Cricket was also created and will be headed by Sonia Uwimana. Match day 25 of the English Premier League is set to have both Manchester clubs in contention as defending champions Manchester City and Louis van Gaal United will be in action today. Both teams needed injury time equalizers against Hull and West Ham over the weekend, and City will be keen to win a game for the first time without talisman midfielder Yaya Toure, who is set to return from a successful Nations Cup tournament. United, on the other hand, hosts the only team with more long ball attempts than them in Burnley at Old Trafford. And finally, cycling and cricket have dominated the back pages as the most successful sports disciplines in Rwanda, but little-known taekwondo is starting to gain the attention of sports lovers in the country. Recently, I caught up with the members of the National Taekwondo Federation with dreams of going to Rio 2016. The game of taekwondo that has its roots in Korea combines combat and self-defense techniques with sport and exercise and has been an Olympic event since 1992. Setting its roots in the country in 2010, Rwanda has gone on to be ranked number 4 in Africa and is listed among the top 40 nations in the world. Every Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday, a group of taekwondo lovers, mainly students, meet at the National Stadium, Amahoro, to work towards achieving their dream of representing Rwanda at the next Olympics in Brazil.
Taekwondo ubundi ubusanzwe ni umukino mwiza yaba urebeye ku maso ndetse n'umukinnyi w'ukina usanga ari umukino mbese mwiza. Cyane gukina rero n'abakinnyi bamwe namwe nagiye nsangamo kandi nabonaga ko abakinnyi beza yabari kureba ndetse n'imyitwarire bigatuma byanteye gutuma nayo nshaka kubona kintu mukino.
Icyatumye nkunda umukino wa taekwondo mbere na mbere no kugira ngo ngiye mu mukino ngororamubiri kugira ngo ngire ubuzima bwiza personnel ngiye bwanjye bwite.
Surprisingly, the game is not only limited to the men, with a growing number of female participants a testimony to the game's growing popularity.
Game impamvu nayikunze nagira ngo nkore siporo umubiri wanjye ugororeke urambuke kandi ngira ukuntu nzajya nirinda mu nzira igihe muye n'ikibazo icyo ari cyo cyose.
Just like other non-traditional sports in the country, taekwondo has faced similar challenges, yet one would believe it's disciplines like these that hold Rwanda's medal chances at international events.
Navuga federasiyo yo irakora ahubwo abashoramari cyangwa se mvuga abantu bifuza ko ibintu byabo biba advertising nibo bakawurebye bakabona ko dukora amarushanwa kandi yitabirwa abantu benshi bakaba basponsoringa muri taekwondo. Cyane dufite abarimo bakomeye mpuzamahanga ndetse dufite n'abakinnyi benshi cyane bakina taekwondo mu Rwanda, ahubwo nta cyifuzo batanga ahubwo abantu nibareba hano bacisha bamaze ibintu byabo kuko harahari.
Going by its rising growth, one will say the sky is the limit for taekwondo in Rwanda. Arnold Kwizera, Rise and Shine, Rwanda. Joining me in studio is the National Taekwondo coach, Alain Barige. Alain, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Alain, Taekwondo, relatively, it's a new sport. First, for our viewers, many of who are seeing it for the first time in Rwanda, yes. What's the history of Taekwondo in this country?
The history of Taekwondo in this Rwanda started in 2003. But actually, the federation was started in 2010. So it's like a new federation. But we are working very hard because I played like a world championship in Mexico in 2013. So we're working very hard because like I have so many people on my team. They are champions in East Africa, and now we're preparing to compete in Europe. We have a world championship this year in Mexico in May, and we have all African game in September this year also. So now it's the right time for us to prepare, and we need to get some people to go to play for Rio de Janeiro.
Not to forget to tell the viewers, you are the highest ranked taekwondo player also in the country, yes, with 4 black belts. Yes. What's the journey of Rwanda to be number 4 in the world with the federation only being registered for 4 years?
The journey to get there, it depended on how we did work hard. Because in 2013, we attended so many competitions in Europe, like we played Dutch Open and we played German Open. Then if you play those competitions, there are some point they give to the country which is attended. And we went even to World Championship. That's where you get 4 points to get fourth in Africa.
So you talked about all these tournaments you people have gone for. You've already had some tournaments, the Ambassadors Cup and the likes. Where do you get this sponsorship from? Because it's not easy to attract people to watch Taekwondo games. And you know sponsors, they need the visibility. Where do you get the sponsorship for all that equipment?
Right now the sponsor we have is one man. He's called Martin Kons. He's our direct technical of Rwanda Taekwondo Federation, and he's my former coach. So he's the one, he works with Africa Transformation Network. They're the one who provides us so many things that we need.
What you're practically saying that all this equipment and all the flight details that you needed, because we have had some Rwandans participate in the World Championship, as you said, all of it is taken care of by this gentleman.
Yes, sir.
So we are not getting any help from the Ministry of Sports and Culture as yet.
The Ministry of Sport now, they are trying to help us, but not probably 100%.
Where do you think where is the bridge missing? Why isn't there a lot of connection with the Ministry of Sports, yet your federation is really successful?
So for them, it's like Taekwondo is a new sport. They don't actually understand it very well. But as soon as possible, we are going to show them, because we have got opening match. We want to win so many medals. So I think this year they are going to help us to play a World Championship. So now we think they are going to do it, because we have wrote them letters. Then the answer is like, maybe they are willing to help.
Okay. Talking about, them helping, there are a few clubs in the country. First of all, how many clubs do we have in Rwanda?
Now you have almost 25 clubs in Rwanda.
What's the spread out of these clubs?
The spread out is like, you have like 5 in Kigali, you have 2 in Gitarama, you have in Huye, and some in Ruhengeri, and you have other one in Rwamagana.
Okay. In the video that we saw earlier, there was a lady, Delphine, who was playing Taekwondo. How many female clubs do we have?
Now we don't have female clubs, but they are female, they train with boys in the other clubs. Like the other girl you saw, Delphine, she's champion in East Africa. She's champion junior and seniors, and she went to play Africa Youth Game in Botswana last year. She did well, she got the 4th place. She's a great player.
Okay. When you look a female playing with a gentleman in the same sport, isn't there a conflict? Isn't she easily hurt when she's playing against these men?
It's very good for her to play with men, because the international competition, men play against men, ladies plays against ladies. So if she plays with the men, it makes her very strong to win a girl. Because if you play with the men, and it's hard than play a girl. So if they play with the men, when they get to the ladies, they win very easy.
Okay. Now, our biggest competitors are the kinds of Egypt in Africa. What's the chance of Rwanda making it to the Rio 2016 Olympics?
So the chance we have now, like 10 players, we need to select among them the 4 to go to the qualification tournament in Egypt in January 2016. Now I hope that I will have like 2 tickets for Rio. Okay,
thank you very much, Alain Barije.
Welcome.
Okay, that was Alain Barije, the national team coach of the Rwanda Taekwondo Federation. Regis and Makeda will be back after this short break with the latest news headlines.
Let's take a look at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world. The Minister for Internal Security, Sheikh Musa Fazil Harerimana, commended police at the Police Training School PTS in Gishari, Rwamagana district. Harerimana made the remarks during an address to 466 officers who completed a cadet course. He commended them for their contribution in community development, saying the more professionalized the force becomes, the more it contributes to the country's growth.
Efforts to curb malnutrition by the government has been paying off. Community health workers have continued to master the use of the mid-upper arm circumference to identify malnourished young children between 6 months and 5 years. The mid-upper arm circumference provides a degree of the child's health and is able to predict mortality. Research has shown that this method is just as good, if not better, than other measurements for screening young children.
The State Minister for Energy, Water and Sanitation is expected to appear before the Senate to explain why major energy projects have stalled. Minister Germaine Kamairese will also have to answer as to whether or not the government will meet its electricity targets by 2017. It's reported that the Senator Perrine Mukamusi, the chairperson of the Standing Committee on Economic Development and Finance, has confirmed that they will send detailed questions to the State Minister this week and that she will appear before the Senate next month.
And in regional news, a Somali member of parliament was killed in Mogadishu by Al-Shabaab Islamist militants. Abdullah Kayad Bare was shot near the presidential palace when gunmen opened fire on his car. A spokesman for Al-Shabaab confirmed the group had carried out the attack and would target other MPs. Bare's death came amid tight security as lawmakers gathered to vote on whether or not to approve a new cabinet.
Time now for a review of the headlines. Eugene Anangwe joins us now to look through some of the front pages. Good morning, Eugene.
Good morning, Regis. Good morning, Makeda.
Good morning.
All right.
Looking good.
Now, Wasac, it used to be Electrogaz, then it became Iwasa, now it's Wasac. So they're changing names, but we still have the same water problems, still have the same electricity problems. It's gotten a bit better, but there's still, this morning I didn't have any water at home, and I'm pretty sure it's happening to a lot of people these days. So I'm hearing the target now is 2017 to actually for everybody to have water. Is that what's going to happen?
This news comes as a sigh of relief for those who have been suffering for a long time, because now there's at least a set deadline or a timeline as to when at least the issue of water rationing can be, a thing of the past. But then again, it's also an issue of concern for the business people or even those people who use water for domestic purposes, because they now have to wait for 24 months to be able to be comfortable that they will not be able to have these water problems here and there. So it raises an issue of how then should the business people and those who use this water for domestic use like you, what will they be doing within these 24 months as we wait for this solution to come by? And also is what will be done to be able to make sure that this target is really reached? Because what I know for sure is that many people have been saying, why don't we use the water that runs during the rainy seasons, store it somewhere, purify it, and then use it during the dry spell? Right. Because this is what we always see. And sometimes also when it rains, we still also have water problems. You hear of people saying that the water is not clean.
So I've seen that.
Exactly. So Wasac, the team at Wasac really has homework to do. They really have a lot of work to do to ensure that at the end of the day they meet the targets and the needs of the population.
So another headline that has been making news is there were 8 people who were held for drug trafficking very recently, just a couple of days ago. Now, this story, it seems like it's kind of becoming a bit repetitive. We've heard this before a few times. in the past few months. Why do you think that drug trafficking is becoming so rampant in the region? And what needs to be done in order to crack down more
on this? Two things, very interesting. I'll relate this to the issue of the fires. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want to tackle the issue of the reports we've had. We are hearing of so many reports nowadays. During the time of the fires that used to crop up every now and then in the city, we were asking ourselves, is it because now journalists have been more proactive, that they are reporting too much on these things? Or is it that the cases have just risen? This almost looks similar in this case of the drug trafficking in terms of the number of reports that we're seeing. But on the face value, it shows you that at least someone somewhere is doing their job to apprehend these people. You can imagine if there was no report, but these things are happening. So it shows that the police force and the members of the public who are helping to tip the police are doing something. The challenge here is some people have said that the punitive measures that are put in place for people who are caught with narcotics or trafficking or helping to traffic them are just lenient. Because when you hear of someone being fined 500,000 Rwandan francs, for example, and they're carrying drugs that are worth millions and millions of Rwandan francs, or they're being locked up for 3 years, these people can just relax in the cells for those 3 years, get out, and probably continue enjoying the fruits of the narcotics that they probably brought into the country secretly and they were never caught.
This is actually a scheme that happens quite a bit overseas.
Yes. So I think there needs, even the Minister of Justice at some point last year was saying that we now need to really have a debate and a discussion on the punitive measures on those who are caught. Should we make it tougher so that people, even just once they hear of the punishment that they will get if they are caught, then they think twice or thrice about it. So these are the things that probably we'll be seeing happening in the coming few days, and whether it happens in terms of changing the law to make it even stiffer and more heavier on the people who are caught, only time will tell.
Now, something we really need you to enlighten us on, as this murder that happened in Kenya where MP George Muchai has been killed. Now, there's a lot of rumors all over social media. I was reading a little bit earlier. What really happened?
Very important things to note in the murder of this member of parliament. Number one is the announcement that there will be CCTV cameras all over the city of Nairobi to help curb crime. And what is happening right now is that a lot of money was spent in putting up these CCTV cameras, but people are now asking, okay, right, we put them there to help us curb such things, but we still see people being murdered like this. So were the CCTV cameras working? Did they get the footage? Did they see it? The news that we have is that yes, it did capture the incident. But the question that people have is that, is the CCTV cameras just there to capture the incidents? Or are there people behind those screens watching so that when they see someone almost being killed, they can raise an alarm and stop the crime from happening? Or will they use them to follow after the crime has been done? So these are very, very key questions that the government needs to answer. Number two is the list of people that are being mentioned from the tabloids as to probably having been connected with the murder of this member of parliament. There are rumors that he had a lot of enemies. One, he had taken someone's wife. Number two, he had issues with the boss of the trade union in Kenya. So there are so many people who are being lined up in terms of who really killed this person. So we still have time to see if the stones that the government says will be, that the none will be left unturned, if indeed even one will be lifted.
Eugene, always a pleasure talking to you. At times I feel like we could talk for like 30 minutes and you won't see even time passing by. Thank you very much.
Asante sana.
All right, a lot more still to come. Lifestyle is up next. Plus we take a look at what's hot right now in our daily debate section, Hot Topics. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time for a little bit of lifestyle. Alan, what you got for us today?
Well, I went to the airport to visit a newly renovated lounge, actually airport lounge.
Okay, looking forward to it.
When you're a frequent flyer, traveling through airports can be a daunting and sometimes stressful experience. From checking in to going through security or just sitting and waiting to board your flight, one company's goal is to make that experience a little more cozy and relaxing. I recently visited a Kigali airport lounge to find out how they're transforming this experience. Let's take a look. As part of transforming the Kigali International Airport, the Rwanda Civil Aviation Authorities partnered with the National Aviation Services, a Kuwaiti-based company that specializes in ground handling and airport services, to provide an ultra-modern business lounge for passengers flying in and out of Kigali.
So 2011, National Aviation Service arrived in Rwanda. With an agreement with Rwanda Civil Aviation, they decided to open a modern business lounge. This is how the Pearl Lounge, the first one, started. Why? Because National Aviation Service has always been interested in Rwandan growth in its aviation sector. They wanted to invest in Rwanda, to employ Rwandan staff, and yeah, this is why and how we're here.
The lounge provides a relaxing ambience with many amenities at your disposal, such as free Wi-Fi, complimentary snacks and beverages, newspapers, magazines, and even iPad for rent in case you don't have a laptop with you.
You reach the airport, check in, go through security, and then at some point you have to wait. And business passengers, frequent flyers, they don't like to wait in a dull place with nothing to do. They want to be in a lounge, send emails, freshen up for meetings, and simply close their eyes and relax. And that's where we come and meet their needs. The lounge is basically here to make the last part, the waiting part, a lot more easier to bear.
The Pearl Lounge is not just for business class passengers, VIPs, and cardholders. Economic class passengers can also have access to the lounge for a cool $25 or 15,000 francs. But are Rwandans willing to pay such a price for luxury?
This is where we meet a bit of a challenge, where a Rwandan passenger will tell you, why would I pay $25 just to sit and there's no rice and meat? And we're here to explain that even sitting in a clean place with professional staff to help you is a service on its own. And yeah, they're welcome. They pay and they relax and they go back to their flight to board and they're in peace.
With recent renovations, the director says they hope to get more and more passengers traveling through the airport.
Rwanda is growing as a tourist destination. You know, with the airport renovation, we have more space. We can have more airline flying in here. So definitely it will bring more passengers for us. I mean, Kigali International Airport has been ranked the 7th best regional airport in Africa. So how amazing is that?
With the Kigali International Airport aspiring to reach international stature, how else do they plan on meeting their customers' needs?
In the near future, we are aiming on offering a proper coffee service. You know, business class passenger, frequent flyer, they like to have a proper coffee, cappuccino, latte, perfectly made. So we want to bring a barista who will be available at all times for the passengers to do all those drinks. This will be at the bar. And the last but not the least, this lounge is new. I know we've been in one which, with the renovation of the airport, we moved, obviously. And we want to create an atmosphere, a Rwandan atmosphere with art and privacy for our guests.
Bon voyage! Alan Karakire, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Okay,
Yeah.
very glamorous, very luxurious.
Yeah, now I must say, one thing I thought about, when I was doing this story is the fact that, the average Rwandan let's be real, is usually late going to the airport.
Oh,
so by the
boy.
time you actually get to the airport, you don't even have time to enjoy it. So I think that's
that
probably
true?
maybe I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah.
Are you usually on time?
Yeah, I'm usually on time.
So you have time to spare, because I think it's great if you have time and you're sitting there and you have nothing to do, like, you know, she mentioned all these things that they offer. But I feel like a lot of Rwandans are usually late. That's a big issue.
That could be it, but also I'm wondering, I know this is a really good option for especially business people, like she said, frequent flyers, people who spend a lot of time in airports. They don't want to be somewhere, you know, that's
Or in
just,
transit.
uncomfortable, or in transit, or if they have a lot of work to do and things like that. That is completely understandable, but I'm trying to think if the average Rwandan who travels would be using this lounge at all.
You know what? From what she says, I think initially it's you have to kind of let them understand what the concept is, because it's still a concept that's new to, I guess, flyers coming from Rwanda. But she said that more and more Rwandans are actually using the lounge. But I guess you can't compare it to the VIPs and you know, the expats who probably use it much more often because it's in other airports around the world. So yeah, I guess for Rwandans it's still quite a new thing to do.
Right. I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks like there's everything you could ever want or need, other than maybe the meat and rice that she was talking about. But have you ever experienced this?
You know what?
Pearl Lounge?
I have been to the Pearl Lounge, but I haven't gone as a guest. I went there shooting, so. But I gotta say, it's a great lounge. It's beautiful. You feel like you're in a lounge, you know, like you're supposed to be. But like you said, you know, I guess the average person doesn't really understand the concept. But
and even if they do they think it's worth it? You know, unless it's a long time that you're. If, for instance, if I know that I have to be waiting in the airport in transit maybe for 5 hours or 6 hours or whatever it is, maybe I would bite the bullet and say, okay, let me just spend the money and go in there, or let me, you know. But I'm not sure if I just had a short amount of time, if I would use it. Maybe I would say, you know, I can use that money for something else. I'm traveling.
Right.
You know?
Well, you know, one thing, I think even the person we interviewed, you'll find a lot of the people in there, like, for example, she was traveling from Dubai to South Africa. So while she's waiting for the next flight, she's sitting at the airport for a couple of hours. And instead of just sitting there, you don't have access, especially if you're coming from another country, you don't have access to internet, you don't have access to...
You don't have your
phone.
phone.
Exactly. So it's a perfect place to go if you're looking to communicate, for example. Or you just want to grab a snack and just, you know, lounge.
Okay, well, I mean, I think it's very cool. Hopefully, you know, Rise and Shine can get some treatment, some special treatment
the next time we fly out.
The next time we fly out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, stay tuned. Hot Topics is coming right up. Welcome back. It's the Hot Topics time again. As always, you can join in on the debates through our social media, whether on Facebook or on Twitter. All right, let's get into our first hot topic, guys. Now, this story actually, when I read about it yesterday in the New Times, I thought about the first time I saw, well, I'll tell you what it's about first of all, female drivers who drive long-haul buses. I don't know if you guys have ever met one, but the first female bus driver I met was actually last month. And I thought it was quite interesting, and I had never seen one before. But recently, there was actually, like I said yesterday, there was an article in the New Times saying it's actually more common than you'd think. For example, Onatracom have female bus drivers, as well as other private companies that have bus drivers that drive long-haul buses. Have you guys seen any female drivers?
I have a question first, though.
Yeah, what's up?
Why is this
Why is that so interesting?
No, for me...
Not that it's not interesting, I mean... But actually,
no,
yeah,
I guess the point is like the shock that people get most of the time when they see it's a female bus driver. I don't know why they always think.
The stereotypes
they're just
around
too, exactly.
jobs,
They're
like
too
finding,
used to,
you know,
they're used to like having a guy do it instead of a woman. So whenever they see, a woman doing it, actually in shock. Some people are like, hey, let me show what out. They're like, can you actually do it? they actually. But I
Okay,
think they're
have
doing
you
a
met a
great job.
female
I've met like
motor
2
rider?
so far,
Yes,
and
You've
they're
met a female
hardcore.
motor
And
rider?
would you get on the motor?
I certainly did.
You did?
I really, really did.
Now this one, what I think.
Look at Regis, female motor rider.
I want to meet one. I haven't. That would be great.
I think they're very cool.
Now I have to point out, this is not just driving a bus. This is driving like across the country. Let's say driving all the way to Kampala. Now some of these roads sometimes tend to be dangerous, but at the same time, for me, the way I see it, actually, I would trust a female driver more than a male driver because. And I'm not stereotyping, but I feel like female drivers tend to be more careful on the roads. But maybe that's just me.
That's just
Main point is we can do it. We can do it. People get used to it.
If I know that women are safer on the roads, I will definitely look for the next female driver because I hate when those long haul buses are just winding around
That's
those
what I'm saying.
driving super fast. If that is true what you said, even though who knows, everyone drives the way that they drive. But if that is true, I will definitely seek out the next female long haul bus driver that I see.
Go on looking for one.
Oh yes, oh yes.
All right, let's go on to the next hot topic. Now this one is a great one again for women, but it's for business actually. I think you'll like the story. So as you know, the founder of Hehe Labs, her name is Clarisse Irabagiza, was now Iribagiza, excuse me. She is among the top 30 promising entrepreneurs of Africa for 2015. This is in the Forbes magazine. I thought it was a great story. She's doing very well. She's done so many things as far as mobile technology here in Rwanda, and to be acknowledged in Forbes as a top
she's been on the face of
entrepreneur.
Forbes magazine.
She has. This is the second time that she's been. But the fact that she's, like I said, in the top 30 most promising, it just shows that, there's so much she has to offer. The sky is the limit.
I think she's a great person, and as a person, and even in the work that she does, and she's very determined. She's very focused.
You've done a story on her.
Exactly, and I see how she's going to do even better, and she's going to take over the world. We're ready for it, and I'm glad we know how Rise and Shine Rwanda.
All right, on to the next hot topic. Now this one is a story coming out of Uganda. You guys may or may not know the singer Cindy. She's a popular singer in Uganda, and she went on social media and basically insulted or dissed, if you want to call it that, Miss Uganda, who is Leah. How do you say her name again? Leah Kawaluka?
Something.
Kawenuka, sorry. Okay, so she went on social media, on Facebook, and said that Miss Uganda is I'll actually quote what she said. Miss Uganda is ugly. Now I said it and it's the truth.
That's terrible.
It got a lot of, people were really upset by what she said.
It's one of those things.
So you have 2 good women stories and 1 negative
and
one.
one negative one, but it just, a woman bashing another woman, it's just sad. And at the same time, she's also someone who's in the public eye and people look up to her. There are some people who actually agreed with her, unfortunately, and thought that what she said was true. But then there are other people, she also faced a lot of backlash with, especially the pro-Leah fans who, just thought she was actually one person said, a kettle should not, what is it, the expression?
A cat calling a kettle.
Right, exactly. But at the end of the day, I think women should be empowering each
I
other.
I admire the way so far the Miss Uganda has been taking all this negativity, and she's just, staying strong, and hopefully, I think the way out of this, to prove everyone wrong, is she should do her best and deliver, top notch on everything, that people look back and regret what they said about her. Because I think she's a beautiful person, and at the end of the day, beauty pageants are not just about beauty, they're about so much more than that. And if the judges told you
have to prove, though?
Exactly.
She's Miss Uganda.
She's amazing. Just get over it and, support her. And it's sad because she's in Uganda, and all these people are saying these things, who are saying these things, most of them are also in Uganda. It's sad because they're supposed to be supporting the people. I don't get it. But,
I think it's less about Miss Uganda and more about Cindy. I don't know why that would even be something that she would feel the need to say, but everyone has their own hang-ups, so we're just going to leave that be. Do not forget that we love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we do daily. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your photos. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We'd love to hear your feedback and to let us know if you have an idea for the program. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. We'll be back here, same time, same place tomorrow, so please do join us then. But for now, from the two of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a very good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
In pageant mode.